Chapter 9. As the day approached closing time, Adelmo went over to Lana. "Do you have any plans tonight after work?" "No, I was just planning on going home, curling up with a book, or even watching a movie. Nothing specific. What are you planning on doing?" Adelmo moved his eyes to the ground, bashfully and stumbling over his words. "Well, I was wondering if you wanted to. Well, go do something. I need a distraction from worrying about my grandfather." This was hard for him to spit out, since the more he interacted with her, the more he started to like her and didn't want to get rejected. Lana's eyes brightened up. "Sure. What did you have in mind?" He looked up at her with a smile, suggesting, "Would you want to go watch a movie?" "That sounds like fun. Do you have anything in mind?" "Well, let's get to the theater. Then we will figure out what we will decide on watching." "All right, that works for me." They began to do their daily closing routine, with the typical locking the door, closing out the till, vacuuming, tidying up the loose books, and changing out the trash. When they finished, Adelmo grabbed the bag full of trash. "Hey Lana, would you like to ride with me?" "What about my car?" "Don't worry about that. I will bring you back when the movie is done." "All right." They went out the door, shut the lights off, and locked the door, walking over to the dumpster to toss the trash bag in, continuing on their way over to his car. Adelmo unlocked the car and opened the door for Lana, in a joking tone. "There you go, my lady." Lana blushed. "Oh, stop." She seated herself inside the car, and the door closed shut. Adelmo walks around to the other side and climbs into the driver's seat. They proceed to the theater. Adelmo pulled into the theater parking lot and parked the car as close as he could, finding an empty space 10 spaces back from the front of the parking lot. They climb out of the car and make their way over to the entrance. They looked at the listing of movies to see what was going to begin soon. They noticed a few movies that they really want to see, but only one of them was about to start, so they chose that one. Adelmo paid for the movie, and they walked through the doors. They walk over to the concession stand and buy a large bag of popcorn to share, 2 sodas, and a couple boxes of candy. After paying, they made their way over to where the movie was playing. The doorman took their tickets and directed them to where the movie is going to be playing. "You will need to go in that direction." He points to the right of them. "You will need to take a right, then a left, and the doors you will need to go through will be all the way at the end on the left-hand side." They both said thank you, then walked off. They walked down the theater hall, following the doorman's directions. They found the doors they needed to go through and took their seats in the theater room, waiting for the movie to start. They were talking about everything that has been going on the last couple of days and what Adelmo has discovered through the current day. Before they knew it, the preview started to play, but they weren't what they were expecting. It is almost like it was one of his visions. He looked around at everyone in the theater, but what he noticed was that no one thought it was odd. He thought, maybe no one else was seeing this on the screen. On display was the guy from his vision yesterday. He looked the same as before, almost looked as if he was preparing for battle. Thinking to himself, who is this person, and why does he keep showing up in my visions? What does this all mean? He leans over to Lana. "Are you seeing the same as me on the screen?" With a confused look on her face. "I'm not sure what I am seeing. This sure isn't your typical preview, but I am assuming we must be seeing the same thing." "Well, if we're seeing the same thing, then this guy on the screen. This might sound a little crazy, but since you are seeing it the same as I am, maybe you will have an open mind when I tell you this." "Of course, tell me what you know." Eager to know. "Well, I have visions of things, and yesterday I had a vision that this guy was with my grandfather and my mother." "Do you have any idea where this was taken?" "Well, it almost looks like Vegas." Their mouths both drop when they see a person float down from the sky with a bright aura surrounding her. As she landed onto the ground, she raised her hands. "May your true colors come forth." A cloud came seeping through the cracks of the concrete from underneath the people. It filled the air, making it hard for everyone to see and breathe. Lasting for a couple of hours, then a gust of wind clears the air. The people who dropped to the ground dead from lack of oxygen were revived to be known as the living dead. No one noticed that they were dead. They figured they had passed out from it being hard to breathe. Then suddenly, right before your eyes, they transformed. Their bodies rapidly started to decay. The flesh started oozing. then began splitting. Everyone started panicking. The people who started to change, not knowing what was going on, and were confused. Then suddenly the next thing happened. The insides of these people started to rot to match their exterior appearance. Then they turned into mindless zombies, only looking to feed and destroy anything in their path. Adelmo and Lana both rubbed their eyes trying to figure out what they saw. They were both feeling confused about what they were seeing exactly. Why is Lana seeing this, he thought. He wondered, is she having more experiences than what she was currently seeing? He knew right, then he had to talk to her more thoroughly about what was going on, but couldn't. The movie started just like it normally would, but neither of them could concentrate on what was playing after what they just saw.